Welcome to the Observe Day podcast, the show where we celebrate the days that matter. From holidays to meaningful observances, we bring you inspiring conversations, stories, and ideas to make each day count. Whether it's raising awareness, learning something new, or simply sparking joy, this is your space to explore the calendar in a whole new way. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I'm excited to share today's observance with you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Observe Day, where we celebrate stories and the people who inspire them. In honor of National Read the Book Month, I am joined by Steve McKinney, best-selling author, fitness coach, pastor, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Steve has spent over 3 decades helping people age strong with his 3W approach to fitness: weight training, walking, and watching your diet. His book, The Gospel of Fitness, breaks down how to stay strong and energized at any age with a practical, faith-driven, and science-backed system. Today, we'll explore how books can reshape the way we live, why fitness is essential for longevity, and how reading and personal development go hand in hand. Welcome to the podcast, Steve.
Wisdom, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Yeah, this is a National Read a New Book Month. Let's start with your own book. What inspired you to write The Gospel of Fitness?
You know what, Wisdom? Yeah, I have been in the personal training profession for over 30 years. And so over that period of time, I trained a lot of people and helped a lot of people get in shape. And so what would happen is I tried to expand my reach a little bit, I guess you would say. And I was just inspired to write the book because I know people really need help when it comes to longevity and aging, what I call aging gracefully. And so what I mean by that is as people get older, they begin to lose their strength and their muscle. And there's ways to get it back, and you want to make sure that you're safe in doing so. So I wanted to give people the best advice that I could on, how to age gracefully, how to lift weights properly, how to stay in shape without hurting yourself. And so that was one of the big things. And I just, like I said, wanted to help people in a lot of different ways, and this was the way that we did it at this time.
Wow. So far, since you've written this book, how has writing a book deepened your impact compared to one-on-one coaching or speaking?
There is no question, no question. What happens with the book, for some reason, it changes the way that people look at your business, and it changes the way that people look at you. So in writing the book, what it has done for me, it has really, really helped enhance my coaching business and my personal training business. And so since we've written the book and did some book tours, I do some local speaking engagements to where I reach out to, our local people will reach out to me and have me come to their businesses or their churches, and I just talk about health and fitness. And so the book has just launched my business to another level. So that's been a huge benefit. And I think that once people read it, they understand fitness so much more. And so that is, one of the big things that it's really helped me. It's, like I said, it's just helped my business overall. And it's gotten me tons of different opportunities as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that writing the book has allowed you to reach more persons that you would have reached just doing one-on-one coaching or speaking.
Yeah, it's really amazing how well it works. In the personal training field, Wisdom, there's a lot of trainers out there, and a lot of trainers are competing, for clients and things like that. And when I put this thing together, it just set me apart, as a trainer. It just set me apart to kind of coach people in a totally different way, because the way that I do things are different than most trainers. And that's that just comes from me, from doing this for such a long time. And I'm older now. And so I have to just be really careful, making sure that I don't get hurt, that no one gets hurt when they're training, and then we enhance people's lives. So that was the fun part. And, I did a book tour with it, Wisdom. It was super fun to do. I really, really enjoy it. I'll still do some speaking engagements on occasion, and I just absolutely love it.
Wow, that's uh no, later I should write my own book.
You should listen. You should do it. Well, if you wrote a book, what would it be about?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
Okay.
it's good you just mentioned you asked that question, because that's been the thought has been running through my head. I'm like, dude, if you write a book, what would it be about? And I'm like, I guess we'll just start writing and eventually see where the story takes us.
No, absolutely. And let me tell you how mine came about. So I have a private Facebook page, and in that page, I post stuff to try to help people and try to show them different things and how to lift and how to motivate them and things like that.
Yeah.
I have a friend, and I met him about 10, 15 years ago, and, I met him when I was out of town, and I trained him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's the best workout I've ever had." Well, he would always ask me questions and different things like that, and, one day he asked me, he's just asking me some questions, and I said, "Hey, Pete," I said, "Listen," his name is Pete. I said, "Hey, listen," I said, I always collect data, and I've got a book that I've, just been writing for over the years with
Yeah.
no, real intent to do anything with it." And I said, "If you want me to send it over, I will." He said, "Well, that's interesting." He says, "I have a publishing company." He said, "Send your book over. Let's see if we can work together." And that's kind of how it got started. He read the book. He goes, "Oh yeah, let's do this." And so he set that up, and it just kind of fell into place. But it took me about 3 extra months after we had made that initial connection to get everything in order, because there's a lot to writing a book. But what I did was I would just write 1 or 2 pages a day, and just kind of go from there. And obviously, I knew my field, and my field was the strength and fitness
Yeah.
field, and so. But you sound to me like you enjoy just interviewing people in certain areas. And so, no, I would think that through, because I think it would really, really help a lot. And then you'd be on the other end where people would be interviewing you talking about the book.
That would be fantastic. Uh,
Yeah, it's
uh, I think I've got so used to asking the questions and listening that I might end up forgetting when the host asks me the question. I'm like, and then like I did ask you a question. I'm like, I'm supposed to say something. Okay. Oh, so sorry. Ah,
That's so
yeah,
that is so true. That is so true. It's so easy to do. But you know what? It's fun, and that's one thing also that happened is people, when I talk to them, they will say kind of what you say. I would really like to write a book, and here's my thing with it, and I always tell people this. I go, look, I think if you want to write a book, you should just write it, and then the truth is, it is hard to get it out there, get it published, in the whole 9 yards. But if the book's in your soul, you get it out on some paper, who knows what could happen from there? The
yeah,
first thing you gotta do is just get it on paper or
yeah,
on the computer, whatever, however you'd put that.
yeah. Well, well, and isn't that the way life is? Is that by shining our light, we give others permission to shine theirs. You know, the fact that you just chose to write a book, a lot of persons would have been inspired by the fact that you wrote a book to write their own book.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's the thing, life is like that. You do wanna inspire other people to do great things. That's just the way I like to do it. I love when I get clients in and I can change their life, I can get them stronger, I can help them lose weight, make them feel better. Nothing more fun than that. It's so I guess in looking at that, it would be for me.
Before we dive deeper, I'd love to invite you to join the Observe Day newsletter. Every week, I send you highlights of upcoming observances, creative ways to celebrate, and behind the scenes extras from the shows. It's the perfect way to stay inspired and never miss a meaningful moment. Sign up today at observeday.com/join. That is observeday.com/join. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
It's the thing that I guess that motivates me the most is inspiring and helping people, no matter which field that I do it in. And like I said with the book, well, like right now I'm talking to you. You're in Nigeria. When I get off the phone, I have a online client in the Netherlands, and so I'll go from Nigeria to the Netherlands, and I'll train a
Wow.
client online. Yeah, and I love that. That's just fun to do, and it's the
Wow.
power of the internet as well.
Yeah, yeah. Again, for me, in my head, I'm just thinking, what would have been the logistics cost of trying to like move from Netherlands down to Nigeria, from Nigeria back to the US?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's impossible. Uh, that would be just like that would be a lot. That would definitely be
Yeah,
a lot.
a lot of time spent traveling that you'd actually spent resting and impacting the people. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Well, I'm curious to know what role has rain played in your own growth as a coach. pastor and entrepreneur. What?
Okay, that's a good question right there. So I have a bookshelf with hundreds, maybe even thousands of books. And so I have been a reader for as long as I can remember. And I remember one of my friends telling me, he said, readers are leaders. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And so I, to this day, still love reading books. And that makes such a big difference in my life because it gives me, it gives me, and pardon the pun, but it gives me wisdom to live my life. And,
Yeah,
I learn from other people. I learn from other people, and that's so important. And like I said, when you're writing a book, what you're doing is you're putting what's inside of you outside so that people can see that. And I learned so much from that. So I highly suggest people, become readers, and just avid readers because it just really makes a difference in how you can approach things and how you learn. And to this day, I still probably read, a book every week or every 2 weeks. I'm just always reading something.
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. If someone picked up your book this month, what's the single most important lesson you hope they'll take away from the book?
Oh, good question. I think the single most important thing is just to integrate your whole life together, your faith, your fitness, the whole nine yards. But the other part of that, I think another big takeaway is how to train with weights properly. And I think that's so vitally important because most people don't know how to do that. And that is one of the things as we get older. And for me, I'm 64, so I still lift weights, 2 days a week. I practice what I preach. But I think that the big takeaway is just to make sure that you're doing things correctly and prioritize your health because that's one thing that people, they don't really, a lot of times we just drift through life. And then as you get older, you're going, oh my gosh, I aged so fast. The idea behind longevity is just to age slower, to age gracefully. And that is a takeaway that I'd love for people to have when they read the book.
Yeah, for someone picking up the gospel of fitness, how should they approach it? Is it as as a guide, a challenge, or a lifestyle shift?
It's lifestyle. We have to have a lifestyle change. When I started training clients wisdom, what I would do is, and this was 35 years ago, I would bring them in and then we would, back then it was really big on, losing fat and gaining strength. So I would bring them in and I would put them on, a 12-week diet, an 8-week diet, and they would do really, really well. But here was the problem. After that diet was over, they went back to their old lifestyle. And so one of the changes that I made was changing it up from an 8-week like diet plan to a change in lifestyle. Now, in the book, there is an 8-week plan on how to do it. But how I explain that is how I get you started. And once I get you started in the right direction, then what happens is if you just keep moving in that direction, you will have created a lifestyle. And what I call that is a lifestyle of fitness. So that initial 8 weeks just kind of warms you up to, hey, I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight, I'm doing really, really well. And so that way you can keep people going in a direction of a lifestyle. I've had people that have been with me for 35 years, right since I started. And the beauty of it is, there are some of them that are still with me and they've lost weight and they've lived a way that um, it has really changed their lifestyle and made their life better, and that's the whole goal.
One of the things you started with when you introduced the book, you said that uh, most people get fitness wrong as they age. And for me,
Yes.
I'd love to know, how does your book help cut through the noise and myths and all the BS out there about fitness?
Oh, I love that question. Well, most people, they, I think one of the biggest problems is, there's too much information out there. So what happens, for me is I show people how to cut through all that by just giving them some simple facts on fitness. So the problem is there's you have these fitness influencers. And these influencers, what they have to do in order to be relevant, they have to put out content. Well, after a while, you have to start making up content to keep moving forward simply because um, it is, you that's how you have made yourself. You made yourself an influencer. So for me, I have stayed with a simple approach to fitness, but it's also a safe approach. Wisdom, a lot of times what happens, I'll have clients that come in that have went to these, like you said, a bunch of BS stuff that's on the internet, and they end
Yeah.
up getting hurt, and you see these knee injuries, these back injuries. So for me, it's keeping people safe, making it simple. And that 3W approach to fitness, weight training, walking, watching your diet is so easy. Wisdom, here's the thing with the way that we lift weights, it only takes 15 minutes of proper exercise to get results. Now, the problem with it is people think, oh, that's just not long enough. But the truth is, I've been doing this for 30 plus years and I'm still seeing results from people who train like that. So that's how I cut through. I give people facts. I do not put anything out there that is dangerous, especially as we age. For example, people aren't going to be jumping up and down on boxes at 60 years old. They're not going to be using battle ropes or throwing medicine balls. We're just lifting weights in a safe fashion. And the whole idea is that we keep people strong in the middle of it, or at least maintain their strength as they age. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to delve deeper a bit. Can you walk us through your 3W approach?
Yes, absolutely. So here's what happens as we age. As we age, and this starts at about the age of 35, we begin to decline in strength, and that strength equals muscle as well. So we begin to lose strength and we begin to lose muscle. At that age, it's not horrible, but you begin to notice it just a bit. You begin to notice that decline. And so for me, when that weight training, that's how we fight the decline. We fight the decline by proper weight training. And the proper way to lift weights builds muscle, but it also saves your joints. So we don't throw weights around. We go slow and controlled. And the weight training sessions, we do whole body sessions. Um, and I generally start people off in the book. I start them at 3 times a week, but I move them down to 2 times a week as they get better at lifting. And once again, what happens is they'll build muscle. So the weight training is 2 sessions per week. I suggest 30 minutes of walking per day. And we do that generally after dinner. It helps you digest food. It ends your day pretty well. And it helps your brain. Just getting out walking really helps your brain. It helps your mind. I always tell people, go outside and walk if you can. Look at creation. It's so beautiful. And then watching your diet. Watching your diet is simply eating good food. And for people who are trying to lose weight, I just tell them to create a slight calorie deficit and give it a lot of time. Don't get so caught up in losing so much weight really fast, because if you do, you also lose bone density
Yeah,
and you lose muscle. And that's the last thing we want. We want to keep that muscle, and we want to make sure that we're strong for as long as we can be. Now, as you get older, obviously you're going to get weaker, but the idea is that we slow that weakness down, and we if we can reverse it a bit and build strength, that's beautiful. Because if you lose, 1 to 2%, 1%, 0.5% of strength and muscle per year over time, that just adds up. And then what happens is when you lose that muscle, your metabolism slows down. It causes you to gain more fat. And so you have to just integrate the whole program together. And that's how I do it. I just use that 3W approach to fitness.
yeah. Wow, thank you so much for walking us through the 3Ws.
Sure.
In your book, you connect faith, mindset, and fitness. Why was it important
Yeah.
to bring that holistic perspective to readers?
Wisdom, I think that's how we're wired. I think we're wired body, soul, and spirit. And I think all those things together um, are really, really important to be holistic. And so I don't think we separate any of it. You know, I'm a pastor also. And so connecting people with fitness and faith, it makes such a difference. And I think that we should be responsible for keeping ourselves in shape because we've been given this fantastic created body that just does wonderful things. And I think that we should take care of it. So that's how I put it all together because I think it all really, really is important. And then, you know, just having your faith with in your life, in your fitness life, in your regular life, you know, life's difficult for people. And so faith really, really makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that approach. Thank you so much for just walking us through the book and for writing the book. And it's been an absolute delight just listening to you walk through some of the core concepts you discussed in the book.
Well, it's my pleasure, Wisdom. And listen, I'm going to be looking for your book. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
you make sure you, you start thinking about that.
Yeah, I will. Once I write the book out, I will let you know that. Yeah, Steve, thank you so much. Yeah, I wrote the book, and here it is.
I love it, Wisdom. Hey, listen, thank you so much for having me. Continued success to you on your podcast. You're a great guy. I really enjoyed talking to you today.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I'm glad I got that on tape. Steve said I'm a great guy to me. Uh, where can listeners grab a copy of the book, The Gospel of Fitness, and also connect with you?
Sure. They go to Amazon.com and just look up the Gospel of Fitness. You'll see it there. Um, fitnessandmore.net is my website. They can connect with me there. Steve McKinney Fitness on Instagram and YouTube. I just use the YouTube channel to try to help people rehab from injuries. It's kind of how I use that one. And then Steve McKinney on Facebook. So any of those ways they can connect with me.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I'll put the links mentioned in the description and in the show notes. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Have a great day.
That's it for today's episode of the Observe Day podcast. Thank you for spending your time with us as we explore today's observance. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with a friend who'd love to celebrate life special days too. Don't forget to join the newsletter at observeday.com/join for more observance stories, tips, and updates. Until next time, keep finding meaning in every day.